Oh, I can make a very good cartoon right now, but I want to read it first. I want to speak it first. The ancients revealed. The ancients understood. They were revealed as and within nature. And what allowed them to see that was their care for their own nations in relationship to the nations. Excuse me. I should eat right before I go. Their care for the nations before themselves. In other words, the nature. Instead of a comparison between the nations, they realized they were the same nature, and that this nature is in demonstration of itself as a relationship to itself. So humanity was once revealed as and with a nature, and as and with its relationship to itself. And that's the difference between positive and negative. That's still positive. In other words, negative, positive. Positive that's negative. And positive that's positive. Is its relationship to its own self as an identity of value positive. And as the predicate is in demonstration, being always positive value relationship to itself with English. If it's a one-word sentence or not. If it's a one-word sentence, the predicate is always going to be with the verb. But a verb is not a predicate. Because when a verb is not used as a main verb, it loses that identity of value. It's now a participle nature. Or it's an infinitive nature. So, you could use an infinitive like a subject. Run is a verb. It's a predicate. It's unobstructed nature. Not just independent. Unobstructed. It's its own body of values, wants and needs for itself. It's an overall system that no one could even fathom, not by accident. Before the wars, before colonization, an archetypal criminal enterprise had been conceived to trick, to hurt, and to hold the nation's self-maintaining areas. Original people and nations and tribes could never fathom nations doing this. Because originally, before they were for identities of the defensive areas in relationship to the phenomenon of war, before no one could even fathom them putting all the resources or spending lives revealed naturally by a system overall that will go and nature make. In other words, they were aware of our nature. Now invested, employed to identities ulterior, for what everyone was engineered only capable of blaming on other, and or staying indifferent to, in that being worse, pseudo practicality. And of a nature of theater called criminal insidiousness. I'm not a lawyer, not a police form, not a criminal. We're going to see the predicate act is in its relationship to criminal enterprises. And the longer criminal enterprise keeps up, the more predicate acts happen. Because of the nature of the criminal enterprise. And because of the nature, relationship to itself is positive that way. Because our campus now is pseudo-education. But it's not just pseudo-education. It's pseudo-education to its tactically, to the areas to maintain this. Blamed on all else. And what that is a bridge fact treatment nature that our founders like this because they were extorted, enslaved, tortured, fact treatment natures. That's why George Washington, why the French general had to leave slavery entrenched in Wethersfield, Connecticut, and in Hartford, Connecticut, in relationship to Trinity College. Same natures that were for a long-term breaching method that engineered colonization, engineered war, to engineer fact treatment natures, unrealizing, worse than Oz, lie progression cover-up natures, theater, criminal seriousness, theater with the suit and tie, consciously engineered that way, as negative value nature, designed to functional, to has everyone measured, worse than measured, as pseudo-patriotism nature, all nations, all modern nations, as live progression, cover-up natures of bridge, nature that with roles that were set up to only realize capable of needing to constantly cover live progressions, being blamed on us, because there's constantly negative value nature progressions. The nations are together. The original ancients would know that nations conceived as negative value nature would be comparison nature. They're not looking at the correlation nature we are together. That's what that difference was for. That's what the conflicts is for. Not to run stability by a system ulterior from the overall one. The system ulterior from that is going to continue negative value nature progressions. That's science. That's science. There is no science. In science that's saying that, so we have no legal representation, because the concept of science is conceived to a business that is functional to fact, cheatment, sabotage, evidence rackets, stupid theater, criminal insidiousness theater, juxtaposed natures with that too. Wrongdoers are also natures taken manifest by natures with and as the nature of what a criminal enterprise forces. But more than that, legalized criminal enterprises for these are victim. This is what conceived through ill sciences, ill branches with roles with slavery, because they were blaming out everything else, and having to stay healthy, having to people. In other words, this is still going on through our stewards, and they're blaming it on human nature. They're pretending they're just animals, and they're pretending because then you have to fight with, and then they're sequence shifting. That's why it's important to understand sequence shifting, because now, if people aren't letting you, if the people are opposite, there are people just pretending they don't understand, and saying to sue, and that's the crime I'm trying to report, because it's also tied to them stacking databases with lies through time, and with tricks, and with confessed and recorded criminal persuasions over the entire legal nature industry. I'm not even a lawyer. I'm not a criminal. I'm not. And so, in other words, the predicate act is the opposite of what the value of the predicate is. But the predicate is with the nature. But the predicate value stays the same. It never changes. It's the same thing as yin-yang. Yin-yang is painting positive relationship to itself. It's a value nature, and a value... in a relationship to itself, identity, which is in temporary space distinct from overall. And space nature is a distinct identity of itself than Allah, because this is the inside of it. This is how the ancients revealed this before criminal persuasions of campuses. With criminal engineering of that to hide it perpetually, they knew then that they had to make up the everyone with the chaos, and then the pseudo-education into roles with it as nature ulterior from the one wanted and realized, so they put the multi-gods into the history. They put fact treatment nature conceived through the sciences, obfuscating their own identity, each of them. In English, thank God, was revealed as an internation science. Yin Yang was revealed before English, but it was revealed with it, and as its value, and as the value of, in other words, internation science is revealed in English, not England. This is perfection that was revealed through the Campus Marcius, an intonation system that was a correlation nature, knowing that when they were this, that the overall nature demonstrates being this identity, trying to understand our value as a correlation nature, causes positive value nature progressions. Because now we're all going by overall system, so we're using all our means, not for a value nature system with fact treatments that they have to hide lies, delusions, they have to stand the bridge. Because why would we not? Why would we leave people stacking in the north? Because they have a criminal insidiousness nature roles trained with theater. No, with the suit and tie. With the agencies criminally involved with that originally state. Until they admit that, they're still as that criminal insidious nature in relation to the breaching method. And they train them to blame it on other things before they come up to judges. So now they're stuck defending fact treatment natures as trained. Everyone hurt too, tactically. See, when I read this here, each word is not for impressions. Well, I'll read this in another one.